And I can understand why men want to go younger. I don't think they want us dumb. I think they want us to be.
Coming up, we've got Housewife destroys modern women on Andrew Tate at Valuetainment Money. All right, so let's see that. A housewife. So this is woman on woman.
Okay.
All right, let's start this up.
What is it like if you can pinpoint what women are like, ugh, I hate you, buddy, Adam, whoever, because you like Andrew Tate? Can you pinpoint what precisely triggers women?
Maybe the age thing. Maybe the fact that he just puts them all. I mean, like when you're at like 18 to 20, you're stupid. Like, you don't know nothing.
Yes.
So
that's how they like them.
I know that he's
not true. I can't let you sit there and say that.
I disagree. I saw a video of him straight up saying you got to find them during those ages so you can groom them. Like so you can find. In other words, so you can find their. Yeah,
I don't know. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Can I just add to that? I think it's really interesting because
basically what she's trying to say is that I guess that most women are triggered by the fact that Andrew Tate says that he would prefer to go for an 18-year-old woman or like a 19-year-old girl who has less life experience, who's been through like less, who has a lower body count because they're easier to like lead. They're easier to sit here and like basically fall into the relationship that he'd like to have with them. And that's where women are just like, oh, that's so triggered. That's misogynist. That's terrible. That's awful. Like, that's predatory behavior. You know what I'm saying? What are your thoughts on that?
I guess that my question would be, say you find a 38-year-old woman who's only been with 2 guys, which is not a high body count. How would you react then?
What do you mean?
What would this argument apply to that? Let's say with Andrew Tate, because it seems to me like a lot of Andrew Tate's argument is the biggest argument is the low body count, which in turn means less life experiences, less of the BS, those types of things. But what if you find, I don't know, a 38, 39-year-old with, say, he's only been with 2 guys?
Well, the thing is, she's still like low value because like women are high value, which by high value meaning like what most men want. And it's like as they're younger, they're a lot more beautiful. As they get older, they become less beautiful, less men want them, essentially. So they become more value in terms of the way the world perceives them. Right. As to the way men's value is perceived is not necessarily by looks or age. We're valued by how do we communicate, how much money do we make, what kind of car do we drive, right? That's what makes us high value, and that's why we're different from men and women, the way the world perceives both of us. So his argument is like, yo, I want a high value woman. A high value woman is 18, 19. If she's 25 and she's dealt with a bunch of fuckboys, then she's going to sit here and bring that into the relationship. I'd rather just not deal with that. I'd rather cut all that bullshit, go for the 18, 19-year-old. You know, she's excited. She wants to be with me anyways. There's a bunch of women that are 18 and 19-year-olds who are like, yo, I want to hook up with that 35-year-old guy.
Oh, definitely.
So then he's a 35-year-old guy who wants to hook up with those girls that want to hook up with him, and that's completely legal.
Right.
So and this is the problem that this woman is having. Like, oh, this mentality is messed up. How is that messed up? That's a guy's preference. If he wants to have that preference, let him have that preference.
Of course.
Right?
Everybody's entitled to it.
Exactly. So let's see. This is the housewife's response. Let's see. I haven't seen this, so I'm just reacting to it blindly.
Groom them, like so you can find. In other words, so you can find their. Yeah,
I don't know. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Can I just add to that? I think it's really interesting because I really understand, like I do understand why men want women at such a young age so that they can mold them. Like I fully get it because, you know, you want her on your path before she becomes indoctrinated by feminism and, you know, she's all about the career and doesn't want to, you know, support you and everything like that. I can't remember where I was going with this actually. Wait,
feminism doesn't affect everyone though. Like you can have a mind of your own and do your own thing. Like you don't have to like go one way or the other. Like I think you can be smart and successful and beautiful.
Here's the problem with that is that right now, look at the society we live in right now. All right, look at what society is promoting for women. It's like, yo, don't worry about your body count. Go have sex with as many guys as you want. There are no consequences for it. All right, you have birth control, you have abortion. You don't have to take accountability at all, and that's what promotes delusion. That's why women can sit here and they're like, oh yeah, we can do all these things and we should be accepted for it regardless. Guys should sit here and accept us for any decisions that we make. But if we want to sit here and eat Cheetos all day, if we want to sit here and not make money, are y'all going to choose us? No, they're not gonna choose us. We have to sit here and go out there and become men. Men have to sit here and take self accountability if they want to become better, right? But women don't have, like, society doesn't promote that in women nowadays. And when men try to self improve or they try to speak up about the double standards, we get silenced. We get canceled. Like Sneeko, he's just recently been canceled, and that's like fucked up. So, and then Andrew Tate was canceled, Sneeko's canceled, and now like Fresh and Fit thinks they might get canceled.
And weren't one of your videos get banned or something like that?
Yeah, one of my videos on TikTok got banned for abusive behavior, and then they reinstated it. So I think they tried to stop it, but they realized that I didn't break any of the community guidelines, and they've reinstated it. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, just for me sitting here talking openly about the things I'm talking about, you know, without even, you know, I'm not really abusive towards anybody. I think I react pretty fairly. If any of these women or any of these people that I react to in a negative way, they take it in that way, I would talk to them. I would talk to them like a regular person. I'd show them respect. You know what I'm saying? Reactions are reactions, so that's kind of the way in which I view it.
I mean, we've come a long way. Botox and Juvederm, like today is 30 and 48 like yesteryears. You know what I'm saying? People live longer now. Like you don't have to find them in that time period. Like everything else he says, I swear, is like intelligent. And then when just seems outdated.
Well, what I was going to say was it's fascinating because I get why men want them young, so they're moldable, right? But when I think of myself, even like 2 or 3 years ago, you know, when I was like 20, 21, 22, I don't even think I would have been a good wife. Like you couldn't even mold me at that age. Mm-hmm. Like I'm very close with my brother, and a lot of my opinions are because he molded me, right? But even so, you just couldn't make me a good housewife at 20, 21 or 22 or 23. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until even 24.
Well, what do you think? What do you think, John? What do you think?
I think she's totally she's on the ball because you're not going to find, especially in a place like New York, maybe outside of New York, but like major cities, you're not going to find a girl at 18, 19, 20, not even 25 that are ready for marriage because of society, of, get a job, go have an education, live your life.
Exactly.
You know, do your thing, go out with the girls, go here. And, you know, most women are really take that into consideration. They consider that a part of their lives where I have to live before I step into something like a marriage or anything like, which is actually the mentality of men.
Yeah.
Who've done that older, you know, most men want to live a life, want to mess around, want to do things, want to experience life in any way they can before getting married. That way, that's the way I was taught. Because not taught, but I think that's the way I was brought up, where I need to live my life before I would ever get married. Not that I'm married now, but that was the idea. I wanted to live, experience things, just so when I do get married, I won't desire to do anything else.
Have you not had those experiences? Like, had you not sat here and understood women through your experiences? Like, when you were 18, 17, do you think they'd even want to marry you?
No, definitely not.
They definitely wouldn't.
Definitely would. No
but
way.
when you were 25 and you had all those experiences when you were 18, 19, 20, it molded you into becoming the man that women wanted to be with.
Yes, because and it's true because in one relationship I was too controlling. In the following relationship, I saw that and I became too docile. So yeah, you know, it just, you know, time and relationship and experiences have molded me into a better partner for a relationship.
Exactly. And that's not to say that there aren't some women, very few women, that could be like 25, 26, 27. And obviously I can condone this because I found a girl that age that wanted these things, that had these traditional values, that didn't have a lot of bodies, that understood what it meant to be a housewife because she had a good mother who raised her in that direction. So me being a discerning man, finding a discerning woman with good judgment that's made good life decisions and made me open up to her. You know what I'm saying? So there are some women, and as a man, that's why I always tell guys, like, you have to be able to qualify. You have to be able to look. But it's true. Like, if there's an 18, 19-year-old, they're into older guys that already have the money, that already have the life that they'd like to walk into. They are easily molded. And it's just easier to not waste your time dealing with a bunch of other bullshit.
No, definitely. I used to work for this company, and they used to send me to Massachusetts, Springfield, Massachusetts. And the company was an insurance company, and I had to work with literally about 50, 60 women. Most of them were married at the age of 23, 24. That's why I was trying to explain. Maybe you'll find those type of girls outside of major cities or places like LA, places like New York, or like I said, any major city. But in the world, rural, in the suburbs, you'll definitely find a girl around that age, because
it's just hard now with social media promoting delusional women nowadays. That's why it's so important that men sit here and have that good judgment to be able to really look into their mind. Yo, what are your values? Where do you come from? You know what I'm saying? How did your mother raise you? How do you feel about your mother? Like, where do you want to be in life? Like, when a guy knows who he is and what he wants, he's able to look for the woman that will fit like his lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a great view though. Like you said, like women like that work with like men that are like in companies that are like 23. Like you like I said, there are some women you can find.
Yeah, there were a lot of women. Most of them that age were married, and I was shocked.
But now it's all like
an alpha female.
There we go.
25, I was like, actually, even in the last 6 months, like I would be a great wife now, but like I'd be a much better wife today than I would be 6 months ago, right?
Absolute facts. You're always learning and growing.
So it's like, yes, I understand mold her when she's young, but even when I was like 20, I wouldn't have been a good housewife.
Go ahead.
I think that just comes down to how you're being raised, right? Because if you grow up in a 2-parent, well-rounded, and I'll say religious household, you're going to be absolutely fine being a housewife and a stay-at-home mom 20 to 24. But I think that just shows where women are at. And I don't think you can get away from feminism. Every woman is a feminist to a little bit of a degree. I talk to average women pretty frequently, and I can understand why men want to go younger. I don't think they want us dumb. I think they want us to be cooperative and not combative. And I've worked with women. Sometimes I coach women.
That's facts. That's what we want. We want cooperation, not combativeness, bro. I don't want to sit here and come home after a stressful day and fight with my girl, bro. I hate that shit.
That's happened to me. I would come into the door, I would put in that key and take a deep breath. And I'm like, I hope she's in a good mood today.
Jesus. All right, Francisco Pereira. Exceptions don't make the rule. Francisco Pereira. Yeah, that's true. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there are some women, but it obviously doesn't break the rule. And the rule is like, yo, most women are like this. Most women are very combative. Most women want to be alpha women. Most women are delusional. It's true. In the society, in the day we're living in today.
Well, you have to see where if you look at the world as a whole, in regards to not just where we live, because where we live, we're going to find women combative.
I'd say all United States, bro.
I would disagree.
So you would say maybe like
I've traveled a lot of the United States, where, like I said, Springfield, Massachusetts.
But you don't think Colombian women are starting to adapt this mentality? Brazilian women, I think this is starting to like spread throughout the world. Anybody that has a phone now, you know what I'm saying? And women that make podcasts now, they're all spreading the same mentality, bro. This is starting to trickle down worldwide. In the next 5 years, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. Child birth rates are on the decline. Women divorcing is on the incline. So I don't think things are getting better, and especially with men getting silenced.
I'm not gonna say that things are better, are gonna get better or get worse, but no, I could go with that. But most of the world, women are under the men. You have to understand where in the world do women have power? Okay, let's really think about that. Not in Asia, not in Africa.
Not in Asia, yeah.
And I'm talking about oil. No, not in India, Japan, all those Asian. No, women have almost little to no power. Not in South America. Sure, there's some educated, but for the most part, men do everything.
But pretty much, if you speak English, you're fucked. Because if you go to Asia, you need to learn that language. You need to learn Mandarin. You need to learn, whatever language Africans speak.
Right. But my whole point is, the women in those societies, they're under the men. Arabia, South America. I mean, the only places that women have power are Europe and the U.S. Other than that, the majority of the world, and maybe Canada, but the majority of the world, women are always, and they are forced to be down there like that. The men don't want women to make as much as they do. That does not happen in our countries.
In other countries, you mean?
In our country, well, where we come from, South America, Asia, Africa. No, That doesn't happen.
I would say most of those women don't want to do those jobs, and it reflects here in America too. Like women don't want to do. They're not happy. Like they're not happier doing those jobs.
No, not at all.
So it's like they feel oppressed for what reason specifically? Because at least women have the liberty to do that here, and they're still not happy. But over there, you're right. Maybe they don't have the rights, and I think they should be able to have the rights, but they should understand what role they really want to live in. Like, do they want to be a mother? Do they want to have a husband? Or do they want to be an alpha female? If you want to be an alpha female, you should be able to be an alpha female.
Yeah, no.
An alpha female.
You know what I'm saying? So I get the point you're making, that most women are oppressed in other countries, but I think that I think anybody with a phone nowadays, I think depending on places like China, probably like with censorship and shit like that, like they're promoting a completely different agenda.
Oh, yeah.
But here in America, it's being promoted, like the agenda towards like silencing men and promoting and empowering women is just gotten completely out of hand. That it's like destroying the nuclear family entirely.
Oh, I agree.
From the inside out, which is insane.
And I really hate is a strong word. I really dislike coaching women that are 30 and older, because it's too hard to break the mental models that they've already formed. And how old was the woman that you were talking to in Miami, do you think?
Shit.
Late 20s?
It don't matter.
I think she was 29.
Right, late 20s. So that's like an example of really bad girl game and indoctrination. You do something nice for me. I tell you, you like this guy. And basically, in my mind, I think that you're a scumbag. But these same women are going to complain that they're not dateable and that they're single in their 30s. Whereas like, for me, I don't feel bad for you. Like, you had a choice. You could have been a wife sooner. I mean, whatever. But my point is that that's a lot of American women right now. They're just outright disrespectful, ungrateful, unkempt, and I think it's a struggle on both of the sexes right now.
Mm-hmm. Nat, you want to weigh in?
Facts, bro. She's smart, bro. She killed that shit, bro. She killed that.
We'll get to the super chat in a sec.
I'm almost there
Question
reading the
again?
chat.
Say that again.
We were talking about Andrew Tate
Yes.
and Leia, and I started the conversation with Sarah, basically saying if you could pinpoint what women don't like about Tate.
Oh.
Then we kind of got into the feminism component, and you just looked like you were ready to talk, and I misinterpreted that.
It's okay. Now I'm ready to talk.
If you could pinpoint what
people don't like about him?
Exactly, what women get triggered about it.
I'm
She
gonna
said
be
the age
honest.
and the moldable. By the way, I'm going to weigh in on this moldable young age in a second. So,
I think it's really just like his tone. Like, that's true. Like, can I just be honest? Like, sometimes like the clips that I saw him were very aggressive, very angry, and like women take that as like being like scolded at. You're like, being like yelled at. And I think if he was able to deliver a message in more of a relatable way for women, but I don't think that's what he's.
You see, it always comes down to, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And the problem with that is you're trying to silence somebody, and guess what? The message doesn't get out. There have been guys saying this, preaching this shit in a nice, calm, soft way, but now we gotta get angry. Now we gotta get loud because you're fucking silencing us. You're canceling us for spreading the fucking truth because you don't like the way we say shit. But it's the truth. And yo, guess what? Guys like that. Guys want to hear the truth. Guys want to be yelled at. Right?
Yes.
We go to the gym, we sit here, we get bitched at by our coach. Why? Because we want to be better. We want to take self-accountability. We want to be self-aware of what we're going through. Women don't want that. They don't want to be held self-accountable. They don't like the way guys talk to them. They don't. And then they feel, I feel oppressed because you don't take self-accountability. No shit, you're delusional. Somebody's got to tell you you've been lied to your entire life. That shit's triggering. We get it. I got
empathy
towards that shit, all right? As guys, we have to be empathetic to be able to get a woman. We have to be able to calm down a little bit and have a rational conversation. But first, we need to gain their trust, gain their self-respect. How? By having self-respect in ourselves, right?
Right. I just saw a video a little while ago about some girl that every single time this dude was doing something, she would be like, you do this for some girl? And the guy was just so chill about it. He was like, to me, he was acting the way society expects him to act. Docile, subservient, not asking, not saying anything. And to be honest, after the third time that my girl would say something like that to me, like, you know what? Enough of this shit. Stop annoying me. Stop bothering me. If there's some girl, don't say nothing unless you got solid ironclad proof. Because I had that once. I had one girl really be like, what are you doing this? Who you with? I'm like, listen, don't say nothing unless you got ironclad proof that I'm doing something. And I wasn't. I wasn't doing
Yeah.
anything.
And you gotta put your foot down.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Women,
sometimes you have to.
and women respect that shit. They respect it when you do, because if not, if you let those little things slide, right, and you act docile and you say it the way in which they want to say it, they will walk all over you. All right, that's how you create
An alpha female.
Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. That's it scares us.
It does. Especially, it would scare someone who was in their early 20s, is not really have experience meeting or dealing with someone like that. That can really fuck with you.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And the thing is that men, we can take self-accountability, and we can understand, yo, you're gonna yell at me, fine. I'll sit here, I'll eat shit. If I want to get promoted, I gotta get yelled at by my manager, and I gotta understand why he yelled at me. You know what I'm saying? But women nowadays, they can't, bro. They feel oppressed because
you can't handle the truth.
Keep it 100.
No.
Like his goal, it's not for women, it's for the men out there.
Yes.
So I think just like his tone, I think if you listen to his content as a woman that's not ready to be offended, you can really get you a right man that you want.
That's correct.
Like if you like, ladies you guys are not being very smart with this.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's really the tone. Like if he can just adjust his way of speaking so that he's able to not only gravitate towards the men, but also get the ladies to understand the perspective. Ladies will really, I think, develop and change in a different way. Now,
It's not for
of course, like
they're not, yeah, and it's not for
the ladies.
they're not, and it's not for ladies, and it's like, why should he have to change? Why don't you change? Why don't you listen? All right,
it's unapologetically not for the ladies.
exactly. It's unapologetically, and that's why we have respect. That's why we have respect, because he sits here and says it how it is. And a lot of guys just don't say that anymore. And that shit is frustrating, because then we're confused. Why are women saying one thing but doing the other? You know what I'm saying? Oh, fuck. My sound is off. My sound is off.
age and everything. Nobody wants to hear they're getting older, and as you get older, you can't have X, Y, and Z. But it's a reality. So it's like you're better off to like consider the factors and then move accordingly. So I really just think it's the way his message is being delivered. Now, of course, I don't agree with everything this guy says, but majority of the things, it's pretty valid, factual points. So I really just think it's the way his message is being delivered.
All right, at least you listen.
Number one, he's not changing his tone, nor should he. It got him this far. Do you play? You're still the top
1,000%.
G. All good.
Yes.
So he's not changing that.
City boy! City
Number
boy!
two, let's talk about age. You talked about being moldable, okay?
Yeah.
What's that?
He's top G.
Top G.
He's
Top
not.
G.
I
Top
kind of
G.
agree that
Breathe air.
I think women 21 to 24, they got some figuring shit out to do. They need to date the wrong guy. They need to fucking fuck up.
It was so funny. Somebody sat here they're like, Darshan Dupte, your uncle is cool. It's almost like watching two cool brothers chilling. Because I titled us my Theo and me watching
Oh, that's great.
Fresh and Fit. Yeah, this is my uncle, bro. It's my uncle.
They need to go through their whole phase, like, because the last thing you want to do is get married at 22 and like you were molded or whatever. I've seen this happen before. Next thing you know, you're 37 and you're like, I never got to party. I never got to be the girl on a yacht. I never got to bang the Latino guy in the club, whatever. And then like you're going to have this like, I wish. So there is a component for women to kind of get some of the stuff out of your system. And then let's say whether it's 24, 25, whatever, then you can kind of get settled into it. I'd say the exact same thing to guys, but just wait till you're in your 30s. Like any guy that's like trying to get married at 22, I'm like, bruh.
Don't do it.
What?
You see, and that is exactly what you said. It's like, yo, like I'm not gonna get married at 22 realistically. Oh, what age did you actually get married at?
My first time foolishly at 22.
Okay, what's it? You see, and you say foolishly because you had that life experience. You were like, yo, listen, at least I'm the one who can sit here and say, yo, I'm a 22-year-old guy. It was not worth it for me as a guy at 22 years old to get married. Like
Definitely
it didn't
not.
work out. But at 35, I think you were prepared.
Oh, yeah.
You're a little more. You were definitely a lot more prepared, right?
more,
Monetarily, you know, with experience, and you became the man that women would really want to marry. I think.
Yes.
Very much, right?
Yeah. Overall, yes.
Okay. So that's the biggest thing is the age factor. By the way, age factor, what's the difference between age gap between you and your husband?
23 years.
23 years.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm absolutely okay with it. I mean, I'm totally okay with it. If I wanted to be with a millennial man, I could have. I tried it. I did not like it. This is the crisis of masculinity, okay? I mean, a lot of Gen X men, they had to have game. You know, you had to like prove your worth and your value.
You know why? Look. She's with a guy that's 23 years older than her, and then she tried the millennial man, and you know what she got?
Emotional damage.
You know what I'm saying?
To like, hey, we're gonna go here, meet me at this time, and you had to hone it. And now it's like guys are swiping or they're texting or sending a message. So I really like the masculinity that my husband brings to the table. But I think a lot of women romanticize it and aren't faced with the reality of it, because you do have to make a lot of adjustments. This is not a man that you can control. But it's like, well, that's like what I thought was sexy in the first place, so I'd better figure out.
All right, that's great. What'd you think of that video?
Very interesting.
What do you
Very
think? I think the housewife. I think the housewife is an actual housewife, bro. Like she should be getting on air. You know what I'm saying? She should get a little loud, yelling at these dumbass delusional women, bro. You know what I'm saying? These fucking
An alpha female.
saying the wrong thing.
My question is, all these women want, and I've seen a lot of videos and things of that nature regarding women and the bare minimum of what women wants. I've seen one woman say 100K, 150K, 200K, which is a very low percentage of men. So what's going to happen to these women when they can't find it?
They can't find it. They grow older and then they realize, oh shit, feminism lied to me, bro. All this.
An alpha female.
I didn't want to be this in the first place. You see, that's the thing, is you give people too much freedom and you give them no consequences. They don't need to take self-accountability, and they're just allowed to run delusional, bro, and get all that
Emotional damage.
See, it's always the same circle, bro. It's always the same circle.